Today we're going to show you how to change the drum support roller on your dryer. It's a pretty easy job, only need a few tools. You need a putty knife, 5/16 nut driver, and a pair of E-ring pliers. Let me show you how it's done. The very first thing we do before we begin this repair is disconnect the power to the dryer. If it has a plug on it, simply disconnect the plug and you're safe. If it does not have a plug, find the disconnect switch, turn it off, and verify that power is disconnected to your dryer before you begin. To begin this repair, the first thing we'll need to do is raise the top of the dryer. Now, there's two spring clips, each of them are in about 3 inches from the outside edge. Just take a flat putty knife, locate them, push in and depress the spring, lift up gently on the top and hold it up. Now we'll need something to support the top when we lift it up, either lean it against the wall or have somebody hold it, support it in some manner. Next we're going to remove the front panel, and there's two 5/16 screws that secure the front panel to the cabinet. They're accessible from the back. We'll need to remove those. We also have the door switch. We'll need to remove the wires on that. And if it has a light in the model that you're working on, you'll need to remove the wires to the drum light. Take note of the location of the wires before you remove them. Either take a picture of it or write it down. Gently lift up on the front panel and unhook the two tabs from the bottom. Set that aside. Next we'll remove the front bulkhead. There's four 5/16 screws that secure that to the cabinet. Pull the drum back from the bulkhead, lift up gently on it, pull forward. Now we can set aside the front bulkhead. Now with the front bulkhead removed, we have access to the drum and the belt. To remove the drum, we need to release the pressure on the idler pulley. Just locate it just right of center, push it towards the right hand side, roll the belt off of the idler pulley, and now we can lift the drum upwards and forward, and lift the belt off of the drum and set the drum aside. Now with the drum and belt removed, we now have access to our rear drum rollers. To remove the drum rollers, you need to remove the E-ring that secures it to the drum roller shaft. Simply lift that E-ring off. Remove the thrust washer. Install our new drum roller. Make sure we have the portion on the hub that says front facing forward. Slide it onto the shaft. Next, we'll put the thrust washer back on. Reinstall the E-ring. Making sure that it snaps firmly into the groove. And we're ready to put the drum back in. Before we begin to reassemble the dryer, it'd be a good time to take a vacuum cleaner and vacuum up any lint that's laying in areas inside of the cabinet, just to make sure that we don't have any excess amount in there, which could create a potential fire hazard. Next, we're going to take the drum and the belt. We'll loop the belt around the drum, mainly to use as a lifting support. We'll lift the drum into place and engage the rear rollers in this area of the drum. Now we're ready to reinstall the belt. We need to wrap it around the motor pulley and the idler pulley. We'll do that through the front. We'll put the groove side of the belt around the motor pulley. Pull it across the top. Lift up on the idler pulley. Wrap the belt around the idler pulley. Make sure it's sitting firmly on top of the rollers. And as we turn the drum, we should see the blower wheel moving. Now we're ready to put the front bulkhead on. To reinstall the front bulkhead, we basically want to push the bulkhead up against the dryer drum, making sure that the two glides are underneath the lip of the drum. Then we can lift up and install these two tabs, one on each side, into the opening in the cabinet. Now at the same time, we want to make sure that we engage the blower outlet correctly. Make sure the drum is still sitting on top of the slides. We're ready to install the 4 5/16 hex head screws. Reinstall the wires for the light. Make sure they go through the harness holder. There are 2 different size terminals, so pretty hard to mix these 2 up. Make sure they fit snugly, and if they don't, just give them a little crimp with a pair of needle nose pliers. Now we're ready to put the front panel on. As we install the front panel, we want to engage 2 clips around the bottom of the cabinet, 2 slots in the bottom of the front panel. Tilt the front into place. And reinstall the 2 5/16 screws that secure the front panel to the cabinet. Next, we'll reinstall the wires to the door switch. This is where you consult the notes that you made when you took them off. Make sure they're in the proper locations. Make sure they fit snugly. And if not, crimp them with a pair of needle nose pliers. Now we're ready to put the top down. Make to engage the 2 alignment tabs, 1 on each side, with 2 holes in the bottom of the top. And then 2 locator tabs on the front. Snap it into place. And our repair is complete.